let's get prepared together.
Be prepared.
Hello everyone. Today's video is on what to do after the big one type of earthquake. We're not going to cover preparing for an earthquake with general emergency subjects like storing food, water, 72-hour kits and more. We've done videos on these. We're going to cover what people should do immediately following a big quake. This time right after a big quake is called the golden hour or golden period. A special thanks to Captain Ben Malloy for reviewing this presentation and making suggestions. Let's go! The golden period after an earthquake. This presentation will cover key steps to ensure safety and maximize survival chances after an earthquake. Ensure immediate personal safety. Check yourself and others for injuries. Before assisting others, make sure you're not severely injured. Administer first aid to yourself and to those around you if necessary. Prior to first responders arriving, people will have to help each other. If you need immediate help, phone service may be down, but try to call 911 or close neighbors and friends. More on communications later in the presentation. Signal for help. A whistle can be used to signal for help. 3 short bursts is a common distress signal. At night or in dark conditions, flashing a flashlight can help you attract attention from rescue teams or neighbors. Whistles and flashlights should be in your 72-hour kit. Emergency responder resources will be reserved for the worst situations. The greatest chance for survival for those in building collapse is in the first 72 hours, so efforts will be focused there first. As a result, it could be possible that there will be no EMS response for simple cuts and abrasions. Additionally, resources will be used for emergencies at utility facilities, fires at water treatment plants, or power stations. These are the things that should be reported to 911 if phones are up. After checking on yourself and helping others around you, stay alert for aftershocks. Beware that aftershocks can occur and cause further damage. If you're indoors, decide on it if it's safe, meaning your structure is in good shape. Stay away from windows and unstable structures. If you're outside, move to open areas away from buildings and power lines. Evacuate if necessary. If the building is unsafe, evacuate if there's visible structural damage or signs of collapse, cracks, leaning walls, etc. Avoid using elevators. Use the stairs instead. Safe evacuation zones. Move to open spaces away from buildings, power lines, bridges, or overpasses that could collapse. Near the ocean. If you find yourself near the beach, find high ground if there is a risk of tsunamis. Check and secure utilities. We covered this in detail in a prior video called Know-How. The highlights are: know where your utilities are ahead of time. Gas. Difficult to turn back on. You only have to turn it off if you smell gas. Next, ventilate the area until smells are gone. Avoid using flames indoors. Don't light matches or use open flames due to the risk of a gas leak. Electric. Easy to turn back on. You only have to turn off main breaker. Do this if reason to believe there's electrical damage, like sparks flying. Water. Easy to turn back on. You only have to turn off water if you see a water leak. Communicate and stay informed. Battery-powered emergency radios. Use hand-cranked or battery-powered emergency radios to receive information from local authorities and emergency broadcasts. Battery-powered radios should be in your 72-hour kit. Phones. If cell phones are working, use your phones only for emergency calls to keep lines open for emergency responders. The bigger the quake, the less phones will work. Contact family and friends. This is a good time to review your family communication plan from our prior video. I've included the PDF form of the family communication plan. Let loved ones know that you're safe. If possible, use text messages or social media to reduce strain on the phone networks. Calling out of state to a common family contact may be best because they are on different phone lines. Also, you will be contacting a less saturated area, so your calls may get through. Additional ways to communicate. In the event of an earthquake or other disaster where phone networks are down, it's crucial to have alternative communication methods. Here are a few ways to communicate if phones are not working. First, something new we can add to the communications topic. There's a possible new way for cell phones to work during a disaster when the cell systems are down. There are 2 satellite phone companies that make their satellite systems available during emergencies. These are not the common cell phone systems, these are the uncommon satellite phone systems. During emergencies, these companies may open their systems for cell phone use. It works with both Android and Apple phones. You would have to be able to go outside, not under a tree, but open to the sky, so you have a clear path to the overhead satellites. If operational, you would be able to use your cell phone with these systems. Newer cell phones would work automatically. I understand this was done after the recent East Coast hurricanes. There's no way to know if the system would be opened up after a big quake. All you can do is try it when the time comes. What else can we do? Text messaging. Why it may work. Texts often use less bandwidth than calls and may still go through even when voice networks are overwhelmed. Keep messages brief and try sending multiple times if it doesn't go through immediately. Social media. Why it may work. If phone lines are down, the internet may work. This may be more for landline computers, not cell phone internet use. Two-way radio communications. With two-way radios, you have to actively be on the channel. They don't ring like a phone to let you know someone's trying to get through. You may have a family rule to check at the top of each hour. There's no privacy like a phone. Everyone can hear everyone. Except for the simplest walkie-talkies, two-way radios need a license. However, all two-way radios can be used in emergencies without a license. These include walkie-talkies, GMRS, and ham radios. Let's look at these 3. Walkie-talkies. These are the simplest and require no license. However, their range is low, around your neighborhood. Great for staying in contact with family or neighbors in the immediate area. GMRS requires a license, but it's much easier to get than the ham radio license. You basically just sign up and agree to some common sense rules. Your license covers everyone in your family. These have a longer reach than walkie-talkies. Ham radios. Why it works. Ham radio operators often provide communications during emergencies when other systems fail. Licensing. You need a license to operate a ham radio, but not during an emergency. Range. Ham radios can cover short to very long distances depending on the setup. Emergency frequencies. Some operators monitor specific emergency frequencies and can relay messages. Unfortunately, there's a large learning curve to using ham radios. Lastly, and not to be forgotten in a widespread disaster, is written notes. If you need to leave your home or meet up with somebody but can't communicate via phone, leave a note in a visible place, like taped to your front door, with details about where you'll be going. Community bulletin boards. In neighborhood shelters or community gathering points, people can leave written notes or update boards about their status and whereabouts. Members can use church buildings as bulletin boards and a place to gather. Bring your own paper, pen, and perhaps tape, and tape it to the outside windows of the entrance. Assist in rescue efforts. Do not get in the way of first responders if present. Follow their lead. Help others if you're able. In the church, we check up on each other. However, the idea with the golden period following a big quake is that you first help those immediately around you. Check on neighbors, especially the elderly, disabled, or those with children to ensure they're safe. Assist with search and rescue if there are people trapped, but be cautious to avoid putting yourself at risk. Provide first aid. Administer first aid to anyone injured if necessary while waiting for professional medical help. Prepare for relief efforts. Stockpile essential supplies. As we prepare in general, we are doing this, but to repeat a few key items. A minimum of 72-hour supply of water, non-perishable food, and medical supplies should be stored for use after an earthquake. Keep a flashlight, batteries, and whistle handy for signaling rescuers. Create a 72-hour kit. Organize and support your community. Work with neighbors to share resources, especially in remote areas where help may take longer to arrive. Work with the church. After the golden period following a quake, if able, send someone to either the stake center or ward buildings, and if possible, with a two-way radio. Something extra. One small thing that can be done in preparing for an earthquake is to use the MyShake app. The state of California has an early warning earthquake app which may give a few seconds to tens of seconds warning. The link is provided. Android phones don't need the app. They have a Shake Alert powered earthquake alert feature built into the operating system. The system uses the phone's built-in accelerometers to detect earthquakes and send early warnings. It is built into the phone, but you have to turn it on. To enable the earthquake alerts, you can open Settings, tap Safety and Emergency, turn on the earthquake alerts, and you should also check your location settings to make sure they're turned on. However, you still may want to use the app. If you're walking during a pre-earthquake, your phone may not interpret the added shaking correctly. Conclusion. Ensure personal safety first. Secure the environment. Check utilities. Communicate. Assist others. And be prepared for continued aftershocks. By following these steps during the golden period after an earthquake, you can significantly increase your and others' chances of survival. Thanks for watching. Okay, as that presentation showed, overall preparedness comes into play immediately following a big quake and its aftermath. Review our past videos and adjust and make additions to your plan as needed. Thanks for watching. Stay prepared.
Okay, everybody, get ready.
Emergency prep, you can do this.